Hello, my name is Kishen. I am the founder of New Innovations as well as the host of this podcast, Stories with Kishen, Ordinary People with Extraordinary Lives. And today is no exception. I am so excited to introduce this amazing individual to you. And so, just to give you a little brief bio of who is coming to share today, Deandra Jonell is a wellness advocate who naturally lost over 200 pounds in just 4 years through a commitment to proper nutrition and consistent exercise. Her journey is a testament to the power of discipline, mindset, and sustainable lifestyle changes. Sustainable lifestyle changes. Deandra now inspires others to reclaim their health by sharing real, practical tools for long term transformation. No shortcuts, just self belief and hard work. So I am going to bring to join us the woman of the hour, the woman of the moment, Deandra get D-bodied. That's who's with us. So just let me just preface that. So if you want to follow her on social media at get GETDEE underscore, right?
Yes.
BODIED. Get D-bodied. So get
Ooh.
it. So D, I am so glad that we were able to connect. And what I didn't share, and for those of you who don't know, we're both graduates of Michigan State University. Go Green.
Go White, the best school to ever go to.
Oh my goodness. I don't get a chance to say that very often when I'm interviewing people, but when I get the chance, I'm definitely shouting out the green and the white. So thank you so much, Dee, for joining us today. And I just shared with the listeners that you lost over 200 pounds over a
Yes.
4 year period. And that in and of itself is amazing. And what I really am impressed about, some people will do things that make it happen quicker, but when you can make a complete lifestyle change and it's sustainable, that in and of itself is amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, that was my main goal. I didn't care about, dropping the weight as fast as possible. It was more of like, okay, I got sick and tired of being sick and tired. And so I was like, all right, what's step one? Okay, we go through step one, but we have to stay consistent with it. So I didn't have a time frame. I didn't want to be like, oh, I want to lose like over 100 pounds in like a 6 or 8 month period. It was just like, I want to do this for as long as I can in a healthy, sustainable way. So, very blessed and thankful that I went the route that I went.
That's what's up. And you're well, you're younger than me. And the reason I say that is because sometimes people wait until there's a major health crisis. Maybe you need to have some type of procedure done, and they won't do it if you're at a certain weight. So you did this on your own. So let's just back it up a little bit. So I remember growing up, and I was what people would call chubby. And I got teased by family members. I was called fat. And so, what was it like for you growing up? And were you always overweight?
Um, Growing up for me, as a child, I didn't start to become, I guess, quote unquote, chubby until I was probably like 6 or 7 years old. And I think the very first time when I would always say like my first bully wasn't even like my peers, it was actually my family members. So, that's
You too.
me too. It was unfortunate. But yeah, like my first bully wasn't even my peers or the people I went to school with. It was, my family members. So you'll have, some of the comments where it's like, oh, you're kind of getting kind of chunky and, and this and that. And, so it started with family, well, some people in my family, and then it progressed to my peers. So all throughout elementary, middle school was like the worst, high school, it was just as bad. I was just getting bullied pretty much on a daily basis for the most part. You'll have your days where you don't really hear, and then, everyone wants to pick out the big kid. And so I was an easy target because I just never would really stand up for myself. So, that's how it all started. So, yeah.
Wow. That's, and I would agree with you. My bullying was with family members. And I don't know what that's about. I'm not going to worry about it at this point. But I mean seriously, when you are in spaces and you're around people that you love and you think they love you, but then they say mean things, it does it it affects your self-esteem. I know it affected mine. So how were you able to cope throughout that time? You mentioned elementary and then it seemed to get progressively worse.
Food. That was the only way I coped with it, was food. Like, I would tell my mom, she'll ask me, how was your day? And, I would try to brush it off like it wasn't anything, but deep down inside, like, words do hurt. And, when it's constant, like when it feels like it's an everyday thing, like it becomes numb at some point. So I essentially turned to food, which, of course, you're coping with food, and that's what starts the weight gain as a child,
Yeah.
as a teen. And, it's just, what could my mom really do? Like, she couldn't go up to the school and beat up everyone. Like, I mean, ideally in a perfect world, I'm not saying she would, but, you know, I just started to cope with food. Like, I do remember having to go through counseling with it because it was starting to mess with my mind, or started to develop early signs of like really bad, like low self-esteem. Like, it was getting to the point where I would start to bully myself. Like, if they didn't say anything, I was going to make a joke out of it or just bully myself, like, yeah, I'm
Ah,
fat, and I'm not anything, and all I do is eat, which was true. Like, that was the only way I could cope with it, was just food.
wow.
Food was right there. It was just like, it didn't, food was there for me because it was like, well, you're not, it was soothing. It's like a soothing feeling. Like, it's like, oh, I don't have to talk. I could just, eat through this and eat through the pain and just,
Yeah.
enjoy and savor at the time. So, that's how I coped with it.
Oh wow. Yeah. It's funny that the thing which people were bullying you about ended up becoming like a coping mechanism, which was counterproductive, but it was what it was because, like you said, it was soothing. Um, so, when would you say, now we already mentioned that you are a graduate of Michigan State University. So, at what age would you say that you're like, I need to do something about this? Because I know, like for me, I would say stuff and then I wouldn't do it. But at what point did you say, yeah, I think I'm going to do something? And did you have trouble starting, stopping, starting, stopping?
Oh my goodness. So that's what actually kind of stops and starts in 2021. So after I graduated from Michigan State, I remember like taking some pictures when I moved out to Texas actually. So, after I graduated Michigan State, found the job in San Antonio, moved out to Texas within within the next 2 months I had. And so I remember like taking pictures and I was just like, oh my gosh, like I really need to do something. And then in the industry that I worked in before, I was in hospitality hotel industry. So my dream job was honestly to become one of the best chefs. I wanted to be on like Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen. Like I had this all figured out. I was like, I'm gonna go to culinary school. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Like I just was really involved in culinary arts, and thank God it didn't go that way. Just another
Mm.
thing to touch up on. Working in hospitality, it's a great field. I don't knock anybody that's still in it. I just know for me, as I started to progress and realize how long it usually takes someone to get to that type of level, it's a long time. And not saying like I gave up on a dream. It was just at the time, with me being as heavy as I was and trying to keep up, and then I started to develop some bad habits. So working in the industry, especially in the kitchen, it was very much, that was just my life. Like sometimes working 6, 7 days out the week, you're not getting off work until like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. in the morning, and having to get up and do it all again. So, you don't really
Mm.
have time to regroup yourself and get yourself together. So it was always just like fast food on the go. It was a lot of drinking to numb all the work tired hours that we were doing. And so, I felt like at a point it was time for me to get out of the industry, but I just didn't know what direction I wanted to go in. But um in 2015, I would say October, November ish is when I was like, I want to start doing something. And so I first started out doing aqua fitness at the LA Fitness out in San Antonio. And so I was like, okay, this is fun. It's not hurting my knees or hurting my joints. I just wanted to start moving. I knew essentially, let me just start moving and see where it goes. And then start to progress and do like, walking outside and going in the gym and doing like some weightlifting training. Like, girl, I didn't know what I was doing. It was just like I'll hop on the machine, read the directions, and I'm like, okay, it looks like this is what I'm supposed to do. And so from then, like, I do remember I had lost around that time from November 2015 up until like, we'll say May 2016 is when I had moved out to Houston. I did lose about, I would say, 50 to 60 pounds. Like I was on a good routine once I had a routine going. And then unfortunately, when I moved out to Houston, I feel like that's when everything just kind of like hit the fan. And so just to be transparent with you and with your audience, I fell in like into a real deep depression. I felt like I made the move just based off of what I thought I knew what Houston was going to be. And there are a lot of other things that did occur around that time, but I think the major event that had happened for me, which essentially concluded when I first started working out and was trying to get healthy, was I had a mental breakdown at work one evening. Like it was one of those, I got tired, I was fed up. Like I seriously had like a severe panic attack at work
Oh,
in the middle
wow.
of a shift, and it was bad. And so I remember going home, I was crying. I was just like, this isn't working out. I felt hopeless. I felt defeated. I just felt like everything was starting to crumble and I couldn't get out this hole. Like it was just like a dark space that I couldn't get out of. And so I remember messaging one of my friends and I was like, hey, if there was something that was to ever happen to me, just know that I love you. I'm sorry. I can't do that. So if you're putting two and two together, that's when I
Yeah.
attempted to take my own self out or take my own life. So next morning, I got a knock at my door. It was one of my friends. She basically did like a welfare check on me. She was like crying. She was like, "Hey, I got a call from this person. I got a call from this person. I got a call from the person that I had text the night before and, was telling him what was going on. And, like, what's going on? Like, you have not talked to anybody. Like, we didn't know anything that was been going on." So fast forward to a week later. I'm okay, but I was still kind of in like a weird mood. And my friend, he had checked on me that Sunday. And so a week went by, I haven't heard from him. And um that Thursday, I remember just something telling me to get on Facebook because I haven't heard from him. Come to find out, he um basically took his life a week after I attempted mine.
Oh no.
So that's when I just was lost. Like, this was
Mm.
July of 2016. I was just lost. Like, and that's when the binge eating started to happen. That's when I was just severely depressed. I was trying to do things to mm, I'm not even gonna lie. I gave up for like 4 years, 5 years. I gave up after that
Oh
happened.
my goodness.
I
So
couldn't I
the
couldn't forgive myself for that.
so the guy, was he having a similar challenge with his weight or
We were both we were having we were having similar challenges with our mental state of mind. Like, I was very close with him. We've talked on several occasions, and I know he was going through some things, but I mean, and he was honestly, he was set to graduate from Michigan State as well. Um, and life was starting to get to him as well, but we kind of both like leaned on each other like for support and help. And we
yeah.
would there has been times where we talk for hours, and it would just be about anything and everything underneath the sun, just to check in with each other. So when I lost him, or when I found out the way I found out, um, I gave up. I started to really binge. I started to heavy drink. I just started to do everything and anything possible to not think about that situation, or just, try to move past it. Like, I didn't properly grieve. I will say that. Like, looking back now,
Wow.
I, I could not process that for a very long time. I think it finally took a year and some change to where it was like, okay, he's really gone. I do not have him in my life anymore. So
Wow, that is deep. I mean, not jokingly, but that's a lot for a young person to digest and cope. That's crazy. So, what have you gone through therapy or I mean because that is significant events that happened in your life. So, how have you processed through that?
through that time period from 2016, from when that event happened in 2016 up until 2021, I didn't go to therapy. I didn't want to talk to anybody about it. I still have like my moments where I'll think about it. I was trying to learn how to grieve, but I didn't know how to. So I didn't start going to therapy until 2022. And that's when I really started to kind of talk about it. At first I tried to put it in the back of my mind, but I know if once I started my weight loss journey, I knew that essentially I was going to need therapy, like to talk to a therapist about, things that I've encountered in my life in order for me to keep the progress going. I knew I had to talk to somebody about it. So yeah, from that time period, I didn't go to therapy. I just, once again, food was a coping mechanism, alcohol was a coping mechanism, and just I was just going through life without a purpose at that point.
Oh my goodness. So from there, what was your um highest weight?
The highest weight that I've reached was 388 pounds. So I was like 12 pounds shy of being 400, almost 400 pounds. Um, yeah.
Wow. And you're, I don't know, are we the same height? Because I know I'll be wearing heels.
5'7".
Oh no, you taller than me. Okay. Um, so that, of course, I did not know that. However, at what point did you get back on track, and what was your motivation to do that? What led you to say, you know what, I'm going to do this no matter what? Was it, were you do, because sometimes people will make a change because of a person, or what was your what was your motivation?
I would say my motivation when I first was like, you know what, enough is enough. Um, I just got tired of seeing everyone else do it. I know that
Mm,
sounds, silly in a way, but I would at the time because COVID had hit in 2020, so couldn't really do too much. But I always remember going on Instagram at times and seeing like other people achieve their weight loss goals, and I was like, well, if she can do it, I can too. I just need to figure out how to start. So
mm,
that was, and I'm not one to go for New Year's resolutions, which I am a New Year's resolution testimony. Like I started January 2021. I was going to at the time when I was on and off like my workout routine, I would go to this fitness center out in Houston called Women's Elite Women's Elite Boxing Classes by Nigel. And Nigel, she was once in my shoes before. And so I just remember kind of like talking with her. I've been going to her classes on and off for a while, I think for like a year or 2 years. And I just asked her and I was like, hey, like, do you do like one-on-one personal training? And she was like, yeah, what are you thinking? I was like, I'm ready to get this weight off of me. And I need help. I need some guidance. I need some assistance. And so from there, she took me underneath her wing and we just got started. Now, I'm not going to lie. Had it not been for Nigel and her patience and her kindness, and just, I think what really helped me was knowing that she was once in my shoes. So she knew everything that I was feeling, like my mind, like how I was, the emotions that I was going through in those workouts she was giving me and what she was teaching me at the time. Because I mean, I didn't know anything. I just knew that I needed to eat less and move more. That's the only thing I knew about losing weight. But
okay.
the first month, I mean, I lost with her, like the first month I lost like 22 pounds or 23 pounds. And that was just off the first month. Um,
What was she
and so
doing?
at Nigel was putting me through the ringer, girl. She was like, "Come on, you can do this," and I was like, "I can't." She was like, "Okay, well, we'll shoot." And then I love that she would modify her workouts as well.
Okay.
So if there was like a discomfort or if there was a movement that I couldn't like really execute well, like especially she would always have me do like these lunges, and I was just like, Nigel, my knees hurt. And she and she would push me to just like keep going. And so her encouragement like really just set the bar for wanting me to continue and be consistent. Because, at the end of the day, weight loss, I mean, I didn't gain all this weight in one night, so I'm not going to lose all the weight in one night.
Right.
So, her patience and her consistency, and just, you know, anytime I would cry after a workout or anytime I would feel down, like she didn't take it personal. It was just like, I know what you're going through. I know how you're feeling. You just have to keep being consistent. I know it's hard, but if you just continue to show up for yourself, it's the progress is gonna come through. So I worked with her from January, from the beginning of the year of 2021 up until like December, when I had moved out here to Arizona. And so
Okay.
through her, I had lost like my first 80 pounds. I went from like 378 when I started. That was like my first weigh in with her. And I was at like three, roughly like 310, 315, around that number. So that was towards like the end of the
Okay.
year.
So what I want to do is I want to pull up some pics and show them. Yeah, so they can see the before, and clearly you are the after. Are you okay with that?
I am okay with that.
Okay. Let's do that. So, uh, wait, let me go back here. Okay. I wanted to pause the recording
Okay.
and not stop it because I want it to be a part of it. So let's get some pictures up here. So, like, yep.
Oh my gosh, I feel exposed.
Okay, I know there's a delay. Yes, 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 yes. It's all good. Okay. Um, okay, let's see. We're gonna see. Okay, there we go. Okay. Can you see that?
I can't see anything. Oh, has started sharing screen. Okay, here it comes.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, who is she?
So I'm going to advance and you let me know if you can see the advance.
Yes, I see the advance.
Okay.
Oh man, that was that conference. I felt
So,
heavy.
okay. So I am going to unpause us and then go to those pics and slide through. And then Now, what do you see on the screen? Do you see both of us side by side?
Yeah, I see the blue shorts and then the pink bra.
Okay. Well, then we're going to go back here. And we're just going to show those pics.
Girl,
And then we're going
stop.
to jump into it. Okay. So let me unpause. Okay. So we are going to show some pics of the transformation. So what are you seeing on the
I
screen?
see blue shorts and pink bra.
Okay, so where were you in this journey? At how much were you, or how much weight had you lost compared the left picture to the right picture?
So left picture, I think I had lost about over 100 pounds, a little over 100 pounds during that time. And
Mhm.
then I know the right photo is kind of like a few months ago currently ish, getting ready for bodybuilding competition. So I have to try to take some progress photos.
Okay, and let's see what we got
Oh
here.
my gosh. That's
See, the
it's
picture on the
what.
right is like, mm-hmm.
No, yeah, I made sure I made that face. Yeah, the picture on the right is what this was like a few weeks ago. With doing bodybuilding, I have to take a few progress photos just to, kind of fill myself out and see how I look. Cause, the scale, and that's a whole nother conversation, girl. Scale can be the scale sometimes, but the girl on the left, whoo, that was the last conference, my last conference that I was at when I was still up in Michigan State. I was regional Michigan regional communications coordinator at the time, and so went to a national conference, and oh my God, yeah, that was me.
Wow. Okay.
Woo!
And here is another pic.
Oh, that was my highest in the left. That was my highest. I was 388.
Oh, wow. How did you feel taking that picture?
The 388 one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I felt embarrassed. Like I didn't even want to take it, but I was like, eventually this is gonna be my testimony picture. I mean, I have plenty of other pictures where I'm big, but I just felt like at that point in time, I said, well, eventually I'm gonna lose the weight, and so, I want to look back and, see how far I came. And I thank God I took that picture and I kept it too, because normally I would delete pictures like that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
because of course, girl, I look uncomfortable. Like
No.
I look so out of touch with life. I just don't look happy.
Well, then you have this one. You're like, what's up?
Yeah, yeah. I just got done crying because I did a video because I had just finished a
Oh.
half marathon.
Oh, a half marathon, huh?
Yeah, that literally
Hmm.
had just came back from Vegas after I did my half marathon. That's when I was turning 23. I had just graduated from of course Michigan State, the best university in the universe, of course.
Of
And
course.
of course, of course. And so yeah, I had just turned 23. I thought the dress was pretty and wanted to put it on, and I felt cute behind the lake, and that's me on the right turning 33, which is
Shut
crazy.
up. 10
That's
years.
10 years. That's crazy.
I want to go back to the first picture, or even that one. I'm looking at your thighs. I'm like, look at those muscles.
Ah,
Look at
girl.
that.
Yay! Yes, she got
I'm
quads,
like,
girl.
okay. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. A lot of hard work, a lot
Some,
of dedication.
yeah. Sometimes you got to show that. Sometimes you can tell the story, but the picture also tells a story.
Yes, ma'am. That one picture, if you was to pull that one back up, the one where I just like really look uncomfortable and miserable, like that was the one. Like that was just uh
Okay.
that was
Let
just the time
me.
period for me. Okay.
Okay. There you go.
Ah,
That's your motivation, huh?
that was the one. Oh my God. Like I said, I'm just thankful that I didn't delete that photo. Like that photo was definitely needed. I look back at that photo sometimes and I try not to be so hard on myself as to how did I get there because I know exactly what happened. I know why and how I got there.
Hmm.
But it is a reminder to myself that I don't want to go back to where I was physically, mentally, emotionally. I do not want to get back to that. I think that's why I go as hard as I do now these days. I mean, well, aside from being in prep, I have no choice but to follow my coach's orders and do what I need to do to get the job done this time around. But I often I look back at like my I'll call it like it is, like my big girl photos, and I'm just like, man, I never want to get back to that. I never thought I was beautiful. I didn't think I was cute. I didn't think that was attractive for me, you know.
Hmm.
I'm trying to give myself grace, I promise. It's just the reality for myself. Looking at those photos now, it's like I really just let life get the best of me. I really did. And I don't want to ever go back to that. I don't. I didn't like myself back then. I like myself now. We're getting to the part where I do love
Hmm.
myself, but I like myself. I like where I'm at right now. And just trying to improve myself every day, showing up for myself every day, and just sharing my testimony whenever I can. So that's just a blessing on its own.
Amen. Okay. Preach. Do that. Tell the thing. Tell the thing. So, what you mentioned, so there's two things that I want to talk about. And so you mentioned them. The first one was your transition from Texas to Arizona. Something took brought you here, and then even the competitions that you find yourself in. So let's talk about that.
Transition. So I applied. I randomly applied. I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't even
Applied for.
selected. I applied to be a part of a YouTube series show called Larger Than Life. And it was by Bruce Pitcher. He was one of the contestants on my extreme weight loss. Very successful story, very motivational. I just applied. I was like, oh, actually, at the time, I had a homegirl at the time. She was a part of the show, and still to this day, I'm so proud of her. She's still keeping it going, and she was a huge motivator in my life, and I've always kept up with her back in the day, just cheering her on. And so when the opportunity had came, because he was going to do another season, I was on the fence about it, but I was like, why not? At least I can say I applied. Ended up having an interview, had a second interview. They was like, well, if you are ready to do this, let's go ahead, let's make the change. And so I will say, at that time when I did the show, that was just an amazing opportunity. Like honestly, like I look back, had it not been for the show, I don't think I would be where I'm at today and wanting to do all of these crazy things that I'm doing now. Like that series alone just pushed me beyond what I thought I knew I can do. Like I did my first half marathon on the show. Hence why
Mm.
I went and did another half marathon in February. Yes, like I mean, I give it to them. I give it to Bruce and like the coaching program that he has. You know, they really brought the best out of me. And, you
Mm.
know, still to this day, I still talk about them. I'm grateful that they presented that opportunity for me. I learned a lot about myself. I learned that I can do hard things. Like if I just, you know, have the mindset to do it. You're gonna have to have the mindset to do it, to make the change and to be consistent with it. So, you know, I give them everything in the world, and I still to this day, like I'm very blessed that I went through that opportunity. It was 90 days of straight working out, hard, crazy challenges, and you know, I, I became a runner out of it. I just became a runner out
What?
of it.
Mm-mm, I ain't running.
I became a runner, girl.
So you relocated, you left everything in Texas and you uprooted and replanted in
Yeah,
Arizona?
I
Okay.
yeah, I literally was like, okay, what can I take? What's important? What's not important? I put all the stuff that I couldn't take to me in storage. Girl, it's still out in storage to this day. And I'm still taking care of it. But you know, I put everything that I couldn't take with me out in storage because I honestly thought I was gonna move back to Houston after the show. And you know, I fell in love with Arizona. I love the weather, even though we be roasting like a turkey out here in the summertime. It's okay because we go through. They like to say we go through 3, 4 months of hell, but the rest of the year it's pretty good. It's pretty chill, so I enjoy it. And yeah, I just read. This was just like a restart on my life. Moving out here, it was like God was giving me a second chance, and He was like, okay. I'm blessing you with this opportunity to make a change. I need you to do what you say you're going to do, and we're going to make the best out of it. And I truly believe that was that for me. Like, this was my second chance of getting my life together and just continuing to lose the weight and be more healthier, be more healthier, be more happier, and just be more in tune with myself and knowing what I want. And definitely finding my purpose, honestly.
Come on
That is
now.
a big thing, is just trying to find my purpose in life. And I think I'm at a point right now where I have. It's just getting after it now. So I won't say too much of what's going on. I mean, I know you had the second question, which I'm gonna answer. But you know, I am just looking to help people get out. If anyone is ever in like a dark space or have like that I can't do this mentality or I don't know how, I want to just be able to be that person for them and be like, hey, I know what you may be going through. I know it may look rough. It's going to take some time. And that's the other thing. We live in such a microwave society where everything needs to be like quick, 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 now, now, now. And that's not how it works. That's not how sustainable success or sustainable growth, that's not how it works. Like you have to work for it. You know, you'll get a few people that be like the instant overnight success, but how long does that success say stay sustainable for? So, you know, I just essentially want to be that person, whether it's a life coach, whether it's an advisor, a health, fitness, whatever. You know, I just want to be able to, if someone was to come up to me and say, hey, D, I want to do this, or I want you to help me lose, blah, blah, blah. I just want to be that person. So
Yeah.
I think I found my purpose. And crazy enough, I actually Actually, I had two experiences so far where I have helped someone lose. I think he lost about 50, 60 pounds since yeah.
What?
Yeah, that's another story on its own. But I just remember he had straight up, well, him and the wife had straight up asked me. They were looking to lose weight. I was very close with them out in Houston. And, they, of course, we still stay connected, followed my journey or whatever. And after I got done with my show in Houston, I had lunch with them. And it was like, they cornered me in the car. They ain't gonna say they cornered me, but they cornered me in the car. And it was like, so we need some help. And I was like, all right. And so I told him, I gave him the blueprint. I said it's gonna take a minute, to find a routine to get into the groove. However, they both done a great job. I mean, especially the husband. With him, he's lost like 60 or 70 pounds. And then another instance is when I did the half marathon, I had a homegirl. She reached out to me, and that was like my bread and butter. She was like, "So I want to do a half marathon. Would you do one with me next year?" And I was like,
Ooh.
because
I'll walk it.
I literally just got done. And I was like, I'm never doing this again. Like, it was a good time. But I was like, I'm never doing this again. Like, I'm never doing a half marathon. And then when she asked me, I'm like, dang, okay, I am going to do a half marathon. So we are both signed up to do another half marathon next year in Nashville. And I'm super
And this
excited.
is a run.
This, yes, ma'am. 13.1 on foot.
I'll walk it.
They encourage walkers. So, I mean, I'm just saying.
I'll let you and your home girl got this.
So,
Oh
yes,
my
girl.
gosh. So you body build,
Yes.
and that's the second part, or the last part, sort of kind of. So, and this will be your second competition,
This will
bodybuilding?
be, yeah, this will be my second competition. First year, girl, I ain't gonna lie. First year, I was just like, "Oh, this looks cool. I want to do it. I want to do something. I like to." I've been trying to challenge myself to do something that scares me half to death,
Okay.
and that's just something that I came up with. I was like, every year, I want to do something that takes me out of my comfort zone. So
Right.
last year, that was that for me. It was like I kept seeing it on Instagram, and it's one of those. If it keeps knocking at my door, knocking at my brain, it's like, okay, it's either now or never. So yes, I did my first bodybuilding competition last year, and it was the transformation division. And I had high hopes to place, but I didn't place in my division, which we win some, we lose some, but we live to do it again the next time. So this year, we're doing it a little more different. I'm still working with the same coach that I had last year. Gorgeous, beautiful man, knows what he's doing, just awesome all around. But this time around, I'm actually listening to him. Like, I won't say I wasn't listening to him last year, but it was one of those like, this looks cool. Just help me lose some weight, build some muscle, get me ready for stage. So last year we didn't really have like a game plan. We were kind of like trying to figure it out. So now we have a game plan. He has me on this strict schedule. It's a little strict, but it is what it is. He has me on a cardio regimen, a workout plan. I'm taking care of the nutrition, and I also work with an advisor that he's like my second accountability partner that tracks my nutrition through the app that I use called First Form. So I check in with him as well. He'll give me some feedback and some confidence and a little tough love when I need it. So I use him as an accountability person as well. And so, yeah, right now I'm 12 slash, well, tomorrow I'll be 11 weeks out until I hit the stage again in September of this year. And you know, I like to say I feel confident, but you just never know because I didn't know what went wrong last year. But it's like, okay, we're gonna have to tweak up a few things. So let's just try to see what we can do and just give it all we got. So I will say so far it's been this week has been crazy, but it's been good. So I'm looking forward to doing it again, whether I place, but I mean the goal is to go for gold. We're trying to shoot for first place. We're working to shoot for first place, but we'll see. I'm doing the best that I can and just making sure that I have all my ducks in a row. We get the story right, we get the body right, we get the walk, the posing, because we gotta pose, girl.
Oh, okay. So you and I've not heard this before, but you mentioned transformation division. So what what types of criteria, transformative criteria do they use? Because I'm like transformation. So just explain that a little bit for those of us who don't know.
So in their transformation division, there's a lot of points that they judge us, or there's a lot of criteria they judge us on. They judge us on our overall transformation. So the division that I'm in is it's over 150 pounds division. And so pretty much they'll judge us based off, I think honestly it's 50% of our 2 minute video presentation. I think that's honestly 50% of our grade, like our
Mm,
judging criteria, like how can we put together a 2 minute presentation, share our story within that allotted time. And then the posing, the aesthetic, like how we look on stage, how we present ourselves on stage. And then they do, which is really cool, which I like, they do present like our before picture behind
mhm.
us when we're walking on stage, and then we get to pose in front of like our before, and then this is like the after. So that's pretty much the judging criteria of it. I know last year when I stepped on stage, they sabotaged me, girl. They played oh my god, they played Destiny's Child, Lose Your Breath. And so you're supposed to kind of like walk out slow, but the person that I am, I'm gonna step out on beat. So I'm not about to walk out slow to lose my breath. And so I went out there hot, and I feel like I didn't execute the posing like I should have, which is fine. But yes, that's how they kind of judge us on like our confidence, our 2 minute video, 2 minute video presentation, testimony, whatever you want to call it, our posing, and just, the overall like transformation.
Okay, so thank you for that because I'm like, well, what's all that? But so they do you pick the music or do they pick the music?
They picked the music, even though I would like to say if I could have chosen my music, because it would be more easier for me to practice. But I mean, hey, but no, they have a DJ on stage. She'll, after they show our 2 minute presentation, they'll announce our name, they'll announce our number. Oh, I was about to say I have it, I can show it, but they announce our number, they announce our name, and then whatever song they decide to pick, that's what you walking out to. So I'm hoping my song this year is kind of like maybe a little slow pace, so they don't put me on like no fast beat, and I'm just like stepping to the beat, because you're supposed to walk out with a little elegance, like a little sass, a little confidence, a little elegance. But if you playing some fast music with me, I have to go on beat. Like, I'm sorry, like I'm stepping out slow to something fast, but we get the gist of it.
Got it. Okay. So, and this is where is this again?
This is going to be out in Houston, Texas.
Okay. So you're right. You're preparing. You said you're 11 weeks out now,
Yes, I'm 11 weeks.
and then after that, you said you're gonna figure out something else that you're terribly afraid of and trying that adventure. Oh, I'm like, oh, you go ahead, because I'm like, mm-mm, mm-mm.
Would you like to know what it
Driving over the
is?
bridges. If you don't mind sharing, because for those of you, so first of all, if anybody wants to follow you just to, they've listened to this and they're like, oh my gosh, I wonder how she's doing. How do people get in touch with you?
So anyone and everyone can follow me on my Instagram, which is at getd_bodied. And that goes throughout all my platforms. So that's TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. So once again, it's at getd_bodied throughout all my platforms.
And that's DEE.
DEE at
Yes.
GETDEE_BODIED.
Love it. So, as we're wrapping this up, what is next for you?
I'm doing a full marathon in San Diego next year.
Yay. I'm like, ooh. And I know people who actually I follow, I mean, we've been friends on Facebook, and I'm like, a marathon, a full marathon. So that's 26 miles running nonstop.
My goal is to just complete it. I won't say that I'm going to run it through. I
Okay.
will try, but my ultimate goal is just to be like, okay, I did a full marathon. I'm good now.
So does it cost to participate?
Yes. So that's why we try to catch like the early bird specials. So as soon as they make the announcement for the race, that's when people try like to grab the tickets. So unfortunately I missed it, but throughout the year, like they'll do like some discounted prices. So I try to be on the lookout for that. So once they like, hey, we got discounts going on, because them races ain't cheap, girl.
Wow. I mean, but I guess you get a lot of, like, you get your medal, you get your number, your t-shirt or bib or whatever they give you. I'm just like, I gotta pay you to run.
Literally. I mean, I do it for the Cheez-Its and the Gatorade afterwards. I do. As soon as you cross that line, they give you your medal. They give you a great job. And I'm like, all right, where's the Cheez-Its? Where's the Gatorade? Where's the bathroom? Where's the chair? Because I'm tired. My feet are going to be on fire. And I know I'm going to be hungry.
Oh my goodness. Well, what final words do you want to share with anybody who may have experienced what you've overcome, to encourage them?
Everything will work itself out. You have to continue to show up for yourself no matter what, because no one else is going to do it for you. That's our life. That's our environment. If you want to make the change, it starts with you. That's all, honestly. And give yourself some grace. It's hard enough. Don't push yourself. Don't I won't say don't push yourself, but just give yourself some grace, give yourself some time and be patient with the process. It takes time. Good things always take time, but you have to be consistent and show up for yourself every day.
Oh, I love that. Clap, 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 clap. Let me see if I can put that reaction on
Not that-
my
yeah.
picture. Okay. It don't want to participate. Okay, there
Oh,
we go.
there it is. Clap, clap, clap. I
So I'm
love
just gonna
it.
put that up there.
I love it.
Well, Dee, I am so glad that you said yes to sharing your story. I think, I know it will encourage and inspire somebody, maybe somebody's bodies, play on words. So thank you so much. And we look forward to continuing to follow you throughout your social media journey as you continue to share with us. So thank you again.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for the opportunity for speaking with me, talking with me. I had a great time. This was a lot of fun. And you keep it going, girl. I'm proud of you. I'm always watching out for you, girl.
Well, I certainly appreciate it. So thank you again. Again, this is Stories with Kishen, ordinary people with extraordinary lives. And so stay tuned until the next time. Take care. God bless.